just a few months, I had a band together. And it was a band called Sahara Cross, and those guys were fantastic musicians. And we were getting to the point where we were starting to open for headliners on weekends at some of the biggest clubs in town, and I just felt led to go in a different direction. So I left the band and started a new band called Vine, and Vine was around for probably, I don't know, gosh, 5 or 6 years, and we did some great things in the state of Texas. Had one song in heavy rotation or I guess a few songs in heavy rotation on our radio station here in town, in the Dallas area, and we played some great shows. And then Vine morphed into a band called Ben Zephyr, and we got busy. We started trying to market ourselves a lot. We walked into radio stations all over the state of Texas. We walked into TV stations. We did everything we could to get noticed. Sam even showcased us here in the Metroplex, and he also showcased us in New York City. But the ever elusive record deal just never happened. I guess it was about a year or two before Ben Zephyr broke up that there was a festival going on. It was sponsored by the big rock radio station in Abilene, and it was being played outside the little town of Breckenridge, Texas. And I thought, my old friend Jay Patterson lives in Breckenridge, Texas. I remember I called him up and I asked him, hey, we're playing this festival out by where you live. Can we crash at your place? He said, yeah. So, Jay and I had kept in touch a little bit over the previous, call it 14 or 15 years. But I think it was really then that he and I kind of reconnected. And every time the band would go out to West Texas to play, Jay would come to every show. So instead of seeing him once every year or two, I wound up seeing him that last year before the band broke up. I saw him probably 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times. And so we reconnected and we stayed in better touch. And when my band broke up, I let him know, and it wasn't a secret.
And I was writing songs, and I can't sing. For the life of me, I can't sing. And I needed somebody to sing on these things. And whenever I'd write a song, I'd always hear August singing in my head. So I figured, hey, I know that he just broke up with his band. He's got a studio. So I called him up.
He said, hey, I get the feeling that you really bad want to sing on some of my songs.
I didn't say that.
I got that phone call and I went, oh, brother. I was sitting in my studio here and I was thinking, I don't know how to use all this equipment in the studio. I asked him, I don't guess you know how to do any home recording, do you?
I had been getting into home recording.
I said, well, why don't you come over next Saturday?
And I ended up coming up here that next weekend.
And so he came over the next Saturday, and we had very few expectations, but it felt right again, like it did 15, 16 years earlier. We started writing.